Yes. Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new topic in the transmission line parameters. That is nothing but the capacitance of a transmission line. So earlier we had studied inductance. All the derivations which were connected to inductance were based on the flux linkage and the current which was present there. So after finding out the flux linkage, we were dividing it by the current to get the inductance, that is. Yes. So we were dividing by the current and we were getting the inductance. So if you want to find out the flux linkage due to all the currents, so you were able to find out the flux linkage during both the external flux and also the internal flux into consideration. And most of the times it was the external flux which was being present there. We know that 2 into 10 power minus 7, that is Ix. Generally, I take the conductor X or conductor A, which is being present, ln of 1 divided by R dash, that is being present there, or ln of the distances which was being present there for two different conductors. So now when I come to the effect of capacitance that is being present there, so what do I need to do is, so let me recall the simple equation which is connected to the capacitor. So let me take a parallel plate capacitor, and on the other hand I have the positive charges and the negative charges being present there. So I'll be having a source which is being present, and later on you will be having the movement of charges that is being present there. Okay, so this was a simple technique where you will be generally analyzing it with respect to the accumulation of charges. So let me write down as accumulation of charges. Either it might be a positive charge or a negative charge that is being present. So we need to take the account of the potential difference. So without the application of the potential difference across the parallel plates capacitor, so the capacitance cannot be found out. Again, we have the concept of dielectric into consideration, assuming the dielectric to be negligible or equal to 1. So generally air is having a dielectric of epsilon r equals 1. So the capacitance causes the line to be charged similar to the parallel plates of a capacitor. So when I say the conductor effect, okay, so when I take the conductor effect, so you will be having the charged contents of the capacitor that is being present there. Sorry, charged contents of a conductor being present there, which is quite analogous to the plates of a capacitor. So when potential difference is applied to it, the capacitance between the conductors is the charge per unit value of the potential difference. Next one, between the parallel conductors, the capacitance is a constant which depends on the size and spacing of the conductor. So next one, what you can generally analyze is, if the power transmission line is having a length of 80 kilometer, the effect of capacitance is assumed to be negligible and is not taken into consideration. So, but with the increase in the line length of the transmission line, along with the higher voltage level, the effect of capacitance becomes prominent and important for analysis. As you can generally see, we had categorized three types of transmission lines: short transmission lines, medium, and long transmission lines. So we were not taking the effect of capacitor in case of short transmission line, and only in case of medium and the long transmission lines we were taking the effect of capacitance into picture. So considering these effects of the capacitance in these two transmission lines, we are taking the consideration with respect to the high voltage levels that is being present, and the effect of capacitance also plays a prominent role in the efficiency and the, that is nothing but the transmission line efficiency and also the voltage regulations. So if it is less than generally 80 kilometer length, we generally don't take it, and all the lines are said to be having an AC transmission system. AC voltage is being impressed on a transmission line. It causes charge on the conductors at any point to increase or decrease with the instantaneous change in the value of voltage between the conductors. Due to alternate charging and discharging of the line, current starts flowing in the line. This current is called as charging current. This current flows even when the line is open circuited. The voltage drop along the line is affected, and it also causes the change in the efficiency and power factor of the line. Stability of the system is also affected because of this. So these are the reasons which are being present there, because why only AC lines are to be considered. So when you are going to charge it, it is nothing but the positive and the negative charge is being present there, and there is a continuous change. When I say continuous change, it is an instantaneous change in the value of the voltage between the conductors due to alternate charging and discharging of the line, which is being present there. This charging current which is being flowing, generally we call that to be the current which is flowing in the line is called to be the charging current there. So these are the some introduction topics which will be discussed, and later on, if I want to move to the next one, which is the electric potential at a single charged conductor. So assume you are having one single charge being present. So let me take the radius and the diameter would be present there, and the charging of the conductors being present on the outer surface of a similar cross-sectional area of the conductor. So this is the cross-sectional area of the conductor. So let P be any point. So it might be here. So let me assume it as a surface, and let P be any point on the conductor or like away from the conductor, which is at a distance x. So P is a point. P is a point which is at a distance x, which is at a distance x. So what we were doing in the inductance, we were calculating the flux linkage and dividing it by the current here. So now what we need to do is, you need to find out the electric potential at a charged conductor there. So I'm generally taking an example of a single charged conductor. So electric potential at a point due to a charge measure is the work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to that point. So this electric potential is measured in volts and plays an important role in determining the capacitance in a circuit, which is defined as charge per unit potential. So this is how we can define the capacitance of a conductor. So charge per unit value of the potential that is being present there. So that's how we can measure the value of the capacitance. So the capacitance value where you have a unit positive charge, so you need to do work. So work in terms of electricity or in electrical parameters is referred to as the voltage being applied to that point, where it brings from any point to any point, or any point which we generally say it as infinity to any known point there. So moving on, so let me take a long straight cylindrical conductor placed in a uniform medium. So air. Why air? So let me take epsilon r generally equal to 1. That is the relative permittivity of the material which is to be considered, or the medium which is being present there. So next, it carries a positive charge along the line length, so entire length. So that is plus q coulombs per meter. The electric flux lines of this charged conductor are radial and uniformly placed. So the points which are being equally placed from the conductor are at same potential and have the same flux density. So let us obtain the electric flux density at a distance x from the conductor, that is along the cylindrical surface of radius x meters. So what I told you now, here you have a charged conductor being present there. Due to this charged conductor, you will be having a cylindrical surface. That's what it is told here. So you are having a cylindrical surface into consideration. So using that charge, which is having a radius of x meters. So assuming it as a center point, so this cylindrical surface, so is having a point, like it is having a radius x there. So that is what it is being given as the flux density, which we generally call it as electric flux density. And you know that the charges are being, the flux lines are said to be in radial nature. So due to the effect of the charged conductors there. So next one, what I can generally go is, what do you mean by the electric flux density on the surface, which is equal to the flux leaving the conductor per meter of length divided by the surface area in the axial length 1 meter with radius x meters there. So d, that is q divided by 2 pi x into 1. So that is q divided by 2 pi x. So why it is 1 here? So the length, axial length, so let me write it here, axial length equals 1 meter. So axial length is said to be 1 meter with radius x meters. So this is the radius x meters. So as I told you, the radius x is the radius of the cylindrical surface. So we know electric flux density is given by D. Electric flux density is given by D. So this is electric flux density, and electric field intensity is given by V. So electric field intensity is expressed in volt per meter. So that is the applied voltage per meter length of the line or per meter length of the surface area which is to be considered, right? So if I use the permittivity of the medium epsilon, and we get the electric field intensity to be E. So E is given as D divided by epsilon. So D is Q divided by 2 pi epsilon into X. So we know that epsilon is given by epsilon naught, epsilon R. So this is the final thing which is being present there. So next one, what you can generally understand is what happens when X approaches infinity. So the value of E also approaches infinity. So simple maths that is being present. The potential difference between the conductor and the neutral plane at infinity distance, where E and the potential is 0, is given by this equation. If I want to find out the potential that is being present there, so from the radius, surface area of the conductor to the infinity point, so I'll be integrating Q divided by 2 pi epsilon x. So Q divided by 2 pi epsilon x is E. So dx, which is being present there. So next one, yeah. So it is not dx. So you just erase that. So dx. So this is E dx. So voltage or the potential that is being present there. So that should be between 2 points, that is E dx. So E is being given as Q divided by 2 pi epsilon x, and dx, it has been integrated over small distance. So 2 pi epsilon x, yes, these are the terms which are being constant. E is Q divided by 2 pi epsilon, 1 by x being present. So this is the term which needs to be integrated now. So with limits being given as lower limit r and upper limit infinity. So any limit can be applied to it. So that is how you want to find out the electric field of a single charged conductor there. So now the electric potential V, that is how you can find out electric potential at a single charged conductor, you can generally find out. So in the next video, we are going to find out the potential at a conductor in a group of charged conductors.